Welcome back to the Let's Stay Together talk show. Now here is your host, Reverend Rick McCain and author Brenda McCain.
All right. Welcome back to Let's Stay Together talk. Your host, Reverend Rick McCain, with my baby, my girl, my boo, author Brenda McCain, Tracy Brown Howard, and Al. We had an awesome first show with Millicent Jeffries, a.k.a. Allison, who was just being 100% real about how we should live our lives, and stop making excuses about what we need to do. If you want to be around, you will make the choices and the decisions that you need to make. And so we love her for that, and always being honest. And she's our not relationship, but our fitness expert that'll be back again to talk about a topic of her choosing to let us know. But we're about to go to my couple here, and my baby's going to introduce them about our Making Marriage Work segment.
Hey, welcome back on the McCain Train. Thanks for joining us again on Making Marriage Work. Our topic is bringing a foster child within your marriage. And we have this dynamic couple who's been married for 11 years, was a licensed marriage counselor and family therapist, Mr. Dan Blair, and his lovely and beautiful, we aren't supposed to do adjectives on the line here, but Miss Jeanine Blair. They're joining us to let us know, how did this marriage work with everything that they done went through with children? Because I believe you guys have 7 children total. Yeah, welcome to the McCain Train.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Well, Dan, we ain't welcoming you, Dan, because you've been here already.
Right.
But we're going to welcome the wife. So it's Jeanine?
It's Jeanine.
Because I called her Jenny, so I don't remember names. You're just gonna be family now, so it doesn't matter. So we're starting off, and baby, I'm gonna let you start off this. I always start off. I'm gonna let you start off with a question.
I'm gonna start off in this first question with respect, going to Miss Jeanine. I'm gonna ask her husband Dan this first question: did fostering a child ruin your marriage?
You're talking about my first marriage.
Your first marriage.
My first wife and I took in over 40. I can't even count them.
Wow.
Over 40 foster kids, and we were live-in group home parents. And so we put it all in to our kids and focused a lot on our kids. And I got to say, there's a lot of stress with that, a lot of behaviors, problems, stresses, but we're all focused on that. And I got to say that I think it came at a cost. Now, that's no excuse. I'm responsible for my marriage, so is she.
Mm-hmm.
So we lost our focus, I think. We took each other for granted.
But you did say 40 kids.
Well, yeah, that was
over a span of how long?
9 at a time. It wasn't 40 all at once.
Okay.
9 at a time.
Yeah, no, we took it piece by piece.
Yeah.
But you can see how it took up our time and our attention and our focus, and how we took each other for granted, and I swore that would never happen again. And so from then on, I swore that I think the marriage is the cornerstone of the family. And I want to keep that strong so I can keep a safe, committed relationship to be an example for my kids now.
Wow.
Yeah. And I think you guys have obviously have done that, Dan, with what you're doing in your relationship now. But when you said it was taking it for granted, what are some of the things that we can do, in that vein, that we're not, taking our relationship for granted? I mean, situations are going to happen, the 9 kids at a time. You could have 9 different things that are happening in your relationship is just as volatile or, painful or take up a lot of time than anything else. So how do we not lose focus when we have so many things that we're juggling?
Yeah, I can't forget about her. We got to think in terms of maybe everyone talks about date nights and have fun. So we decided we got to do our date nights at least couple times a month, and that's just for fun. No problems. No problem talk. And we try not to talk about work or kids. It's hard. Try it. After a while, it's hard. But we also schedule weekly luncheons in which we just vent. With permission, we say, I want to talk about this. There's no fixing. I call it the NFL approach. No fixing listening. And we just let it pour out, and we just make sense of it. We understand it. And then every morning we run to work out. We work out in the morning. Millicent was very inspiring to us, and we appreciated that. We try to stay 45 minutes in the gym every morning, and that helps us keep us strong too.
Amen. So you talked about that, Jeanine. You talked about that the venting, and we talked about that a little bit earlier. a lot of people don't think that that's good, but venting can be so good for relationship. Explain a little bit about how you do that and how it helps out in the relationship.
Well, I'd have to say Dan, he works 10-hour days, so a lot happens on a daily basis that we don't get to talk about during the day. He sees clients one after another, and then at night he comes home and it doesn't leave much time. He's tired, and so I don't really need fixing. I just need to be heard, and sometimes I think in the earlier days of us being together, I think he felt like he had to fix things, and that wasn't the case. I just really needed him to listen and let me bounce things off of him. Say, if I needed something, I would ask for it, and I think that's that really worked. Is if I needed something, I'd ask for it.
Yeah, and that's so nice because a lot of times people, when we hear the word venting, we always look at it as negative, but it's such a stress reliever. Venting doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to complain about you and you complain about me. It's just that I want to express how I feel and allow you to equally listen to that and understand what I'm doing and why I'm doing this. And then you could do the same thing without taking anything negative against each other. I need to be able to express myself. And I think a lot of times couples don't think that that's healthy, but it can be very helpful in a relationship because once you hold on to things, it becomes a volcano effect that now you're not venting, you're angry.
Right.
And it gives you that opportunity. So I'm so thankful you all shared that to say that, we take that time, and it's I like that acronym, NFL. We take that NFL time, to sit there and allow ourselves to express our feelings. Dan?
Yeah, one thing I learned too, guys got it easier than they think. Our wives don't need a savior. They need a sounding board. Mm-hmm. And that's a lot easier than trying to fix it or make sense of everything that they're going through.
Yeah, that's true.
I like that too. But, you guys lost me because I'm not a football person. What is the NFL acronym?
No fixing listening.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what you're talking about. No fixing listening. I like that because I think a lot of couples.
For real?
Yeah. Huh? No fixing listening.
No, what is
NFL,
it for real?
the National Football League.
Oh, okay.
My God.
I knew that.
For the acronym for real right now is no fixing listening.
I just wondering.
But I like that because what it does is it brings everybody into the game. Now I don't want you to fix me. I just want you to listen to me.
Well, I wasn't listening to you.
And that's one of the 5 loves language. We know you ain't listening. That's one of the 5 love languages is actually listening to each other, baby.
Okay, I'm going to go back a little bit with the foster care, and we're going to merge into blended families on the line. But what is the best thing you could do for your marriage if you are fostering children?
Fostering children is a lot of stress with a lot of behavior, so getting on the same page with your wife. But most of all, it's really spending a lot of time together with the love languages, like you were saying, between you and your wife. I made them all T words just so I can remember them all: time, talk, touch, tokens, and tasks. Time together, having fun, talk. I just want to make sure that you feel understood, that I know you. Touch, affection, tokens. Hey, I'm thinking of you. I get you a glass of water, or I buy you she likes chocolate. She wanted some chocolate.
Busted.
She was talking about She was talking about chocolate-covered rice cakes. She was talking about in the
Do they make those?
Yes, they make those.
Okay, well,
I have them on my counter.
Okay, I'm going to get you some chocolate-covered rice
Well, you got to
cakes.
find out for Millicent, is it okay? But go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's okay. All right, well, girl, you didn't help me.
Right, chocolate make
Hallelujah.
everything better.
So she was doing that. So you were saying again, yeah.
Yeah, and the 5th one is tasks, acts of service, doing things for her that she would normally do. I surprise her with it. I can't take credit for my normal chores. She's not going to even notice that. But if I do something that she usually do, she notices it, and it speaks to her love language. Secondly, how do you maintain a fondness and admiration for your partner? If you're thinking negative things about your partner over time, you're going to fall out of love. Just by your thought life, it starts what you're thinking about, and it's over and over. And then finally, the we decisions, making we decisions together when it comes to what do we do about the kids and what are we doing for the kids. To me, that's the strongest part. Again, the cornerstone of the family is the marriage.
Wow, interesting. So on the flip side is what was the biggest concerns that you had with your marriage when you was fostering?
Well, I think we took each other for granted. Like I said, we focused all on the kids and their problems, and we did not spend the time together we should have. And we didn't have any venting sessions. I don't even know if she knew what I was feeling or she was feeling. We didn't talk about each other's needs. So I think we lost sight of each other. We lost the forest for the trees.
Interesting here. Okay. Yes, I'm say back.
No, I was going to say, Jeanine. So when we're talking about that, I don't know if we're going to transition into
we're
it.
going to be moving on.
As we talk about the transition, of a relationship, and now you're a part of the relationship. Talk to me a little bit about the transition that you have now. They have like a mixed family,
blended
family, and then talk about how that works for you in that relationship with a blended family.
You, Jeanine.
How
She's thinking about those rice cakes.
A lot of times when people have a blended family, it's kind of difficult to blend it in. How did that work with blending that family in? Everybody's not like the Brady Bunch. There's a story. How did you able to make that work?
Well, I think Dan definitely helped with that. I think with raising all the kids that he did, and being a therapist, having training. But when it's your own family, it's actually very different. You're very emotional. I think he's. Our kids were very young, I'd say, and they were excited. We kind of even thought, like, wow, this is great. We'll never have problems. And that wasn't true. We actually dealt with a lot. We've gone through amazing things. And I think United Front has been something I've learned from Dan. We actually came from so many different families, because it's not just me and my kids and him and his kids. And then we also have one together. But it was... my kids have a dad, and then his kids have a mom, and we all actually get along really well. But you're dealing with so many more opinions and factors. But I think that coming with a united front attitude in front of the kids, maybe we would talk about it when the kids aren't around if we had different decisions, or I don't know. Did you have something to add, Dan?
Yeah, we were like the Brady Bunch. We had
We
6 kids, 3 girls, 3 boys. Then we added
Wow.
little Oliver. Remember at the end,
Yes!
show Oliver. We added a little Oliver.
Cousin Oliver.
So you got the dog, but that's a huge dog that they have. So it's great that you're hearing that you come together and you're talking about, because a lot of times people they do have issues, but people don't want to talk about them and share them with people. And that's what we want, to do, is let people know that, you have to have that united front, as you said, to understand that there are going to be some issues. But if you talk about it, then you can overcome those things.
Yeah. So I want to know, because we're moving on, progress from the first wife and the downfall of that with fostering the children, ended up in a divorce, but the blessing came with the second wife, Miss Jeanine. I'm a cheerleader for that.
I knew she was going to say that.
Those second wives.
That's club.
Right? We cheerleaders. But is it important to have God at the head of this? Of everything, from the fostering to the blended children, and for you guys to make it work? Because I know you probably have reservations of what you went through before and probably what you went through. So why is it important to have God first?
To me, God gives me a reason to stay committed when I don't feel like staying committed.
Okay.
So that's enough right there. It makes me think twice about leaving. It also gives me someone I can rely on. I can put my trust in and put my faith in. I can see him work as I ask him to come into my life every day and make a difference in my day. I can see what he is, and I develop a relationship and a confidence in him that even when things go wrong and down, I see it play out in the way it plays out. So I believe God is a redeemer. He's in charge of a plan B. He redeems our life. When we go wrong, we crash it. He's there he doesn't waste it, and he teaches us, and he makes it right. And to me, Plan B stands for blessing, and that's what.
I like that.
Yeah, that's what. That's my experience of God the Father.
I'm just waiting for him to bust out in a song.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you. One time I'm gonna have to just sit down with him, because he be having those breakdowns of the acronyms.
I know, and I'm like, let me write this down.
I'm gonna say, I'm writing a sermon here, Dan. Can you give me one of those breakdowns of acronyms? What that is here? I can say I could use that, because it's great that you do that, because when you have that kind of thought process, it helps you. And one of the things you just said that I really appreciate is that, God helps you to stay in something that you and sometimes want to walk out of. And people say, why would he say that? Why would he want to walk out? I mean, Satan will attack you to want you to leave something. But when you know that God is there, that he can do exceedingly abundantly more than you can ask or think, and he'll always be there for you and never forsake you, that power moves you on through those trials and tribulations. You have a husband, you have a wife, but you need something that's going to be so much stronger, that's going to move you. And to have that kind of philosophy is great. And I'm going to go to Jeanine here. How do you do that? I mean, God and things like that, but help us to understand, for you, Brenda, the question you had asked it again, I want you to answer that too. And I forgot the question, so I'm sorry to say that, but I don't write down my questions. But you were saying that she hadn't got the question ready. Ain't that something?
Well, I thought he answered this.
But I just wanted to know her perspective on that as well.
So many questions
Okay.
here.
And so,
go to a new one, babe.
And so what?
no, it was. Why is it so important to put God first? Was we on that one still?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think God calms the storm. I think, my life is so crazy busy trying to keep up with 7 kids. I also run his business. I do all the insurance. I deal with all the clients, the bills, the taxes. I mean, I deal with so much that it's overwhelming. And God is the only one. Nobody else has that superpower to calm me because it's almost unattainable. I can't find anybody who can calm me like God.
Amen.
So it's prayer, and it's actually a little embarrassing most of the time. I pray when I'm in the bathroom because that's the only time I'm like
have some privacy.
That's
by
my
myself,
sanctuary.
and that's my sanctuary. And that is like I'm really embarrassed about this, but this is where I'm going. And
yeah, I think a lot of us have prayed. I be at
pray
the
in the
job.
bathroom all the time.
I was going to write a book called "In the Bathroom."
Yeah,
because
in the jar.
We got to do that right. We got to write that book because I have been in the bathroom so many times in my job and different jobs just praying, and it just seems like that is one of the best places sometimes. And I know it sounds crazy, but it's just the time that I start praying.
And
so,
I know with kids, it's one of the few places you have a second of privacy
That's
before they start knocking on the door.
Yeah, So you was going to ask a question?
Oh, I was just wondering the ages of the children.
The oldest will be 21 next Monday, and then we have a 20-year-old son, and then we have a 17-year-old, a 16-year-old. Those are both girls, and then we have a 15-year-old son and a 14-year-old son, and then we have a 7-year-old.
Ooh, wow.
All those teens. I mean,
we have 2 college, 4 high schoolers, and an elementary.
Wow.
You know what? I'm sitting up here and I'm looking at Jeanine and Dan, and you all are embarrassing me because I'm looking at them like, how do y'all do that? And they exercise too.
Every
right, I know.
I mean,
chasing those
so
kids.
They really making us look bad here because they got. How do you?
We ate chicken and waffles.
Right, they really did. They were around the corner.
We did, so don't feel bad.
Don't feel too
Those
bad.
chips are nothing compared to what we
Right. So, there's somebody out there that's probably saying, how do you all get that time in to be so devoted to the family structure? Because it's just like you're doing so much. I just can't even fathom doing all that. I know we do a lot of things as well, but talk to somebody, Jeanine, how do you do that? I mean, it just seems impossible, especially with teenagers. Oh my God, how they can be. I mean, it's how do you help somebody right now that's just going nuts with 2 kids? How do you manage being able to do that?
I've gotten a little better over the years of delegating. We pay $50 a month for each kid's phone. I think we're in the age where phones are expensive, smartphones, but yet you want them to have them because they're away. And but I think that a lot has been delegation, and I love discipline. I love it, and you could be as creative as you want. I mean, my kids know if they're being mouthy to each other, I'll come up with creative things like, you have to sit and play a game, or you guys have to go do a task together. I mean, they've done some crazy things. Let's see. Yeah, I think delegating, giving some things out is probably I do the golden rule. That is, when you talked about the golden rule earlier, I believe that, and I feel like I'm teaching. I teach every day on, different things that are going on. I feel like I'm always telling them, or doing a lesson through anything that I've seen or heard, or, anybody who's been treated wrong. I use it as a lesson. But it's hard. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Dan?
Just like Millicent was saying, don't think about it, just do it. Plan it and do it. And the less you think about it, the better. And have it structured throughout the day so that you get this done at this time. And it's like time budgeting is just like money budgeting. We never have enough time. We never have enough money. But if we plan ahead and just stick to what we got, we just make the best use of what we got.
Yeah, that's a great thing, because a lot of times people get so frustrated of not having the financial thing. Like, we don't have this, we don't have that, but you have to make plan, because if you get frustrated of what you don't have, you'll never accomplish what you do have.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, Dan, a lot of times I'll complain, like, this is what I have to do, and I'll be, like, frazzled, and he'll have, like, 2 minutes in between a client, and he'll say, divide and conquer. Divide and conquer. And those words stick with me all these years, because often I spend so much time doing all the complaining and all the thinking about it that I spend more time thinking than doing. And if I would just do, I might not finish it all, but it's a momentum.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's
Amen.
Oh, they got some nice little acronyms. The
book of acronyms.
Yeah. Now, is it wise to put children first in your marriage?
No.
There you go. Please say this answer.
Yeah. Children feel safest when the parents are the happiest. Although in blended families, step families, sometimes that's not true. The kids, don't forget about, in a blended family, kids feel they have losses, a lot of losses. And sometimes the better your relationship, the more they miss what they thought they could have had, their parents being together. They never forget that. No matter how good the step-parent is, when they hit those school functions and those first boyfriends and all the achievements in sports, they always think about, my step-parent might be there, but makes me think about my dad or makes me think about my mom. So there's always loss. Even the good things compare with loss. And then there's loyalty binds too. Better relationship I have with my step-parent, what about my mom? What about my dad? So it's kind of a mixed bag, and it's very hard to be. Oh, does that mean we're done?
No, go ahead.
No,
that just means it's, some
Al
music.
Somebody
they was excited about what you were saying, but go ahead.
All right, okay. So to answer your question, no, I don't think we should put the kids first. I think the most what the kids need is a commitment, and they need safety in that commitment, and you can only do that by working on the foundation of the home.
Yeah, the reason I asked that, because I had a debate today with someone on Facebook. You read something, I said, let me answer this. Someone had posted about who should come first, the wife, the mother, or the daughter. And I said, in biblical terms, I just broke it down, said the wife comes first. And this one girl challenged me. She inboxed me. She said, well, you must don't have children because children come first. And I asked, I said, are you still married? She said, no.
Ooh.
Need I say any more? I'm like, your husband and wife, the husband should put the wife first and stuff. So when you said that, I'm like, please answer it this way, please.
The thing about it is that
I made that mistake and I learned from it.
Yeah.
It won't happen again.
One of the things about it so much is that people don't realize is that by making sure that husband and wife, that marriage, that covenant relationship works, and that the children around them see the power of the love that they have for each other, it strengthens the bond of that whole family, because it's falling down from a strong foundation. It's the roots of the foundation of what they're going to be. They're going to be married. They're gonna see what it means to care and love someone. I used to tell my son all the time, I said, the number one person in this house is my wife. I said, if you don't respect her, you're not going to get any respect from me, because she's the number one person in this house, and you need to learn how to respect her.
And the kids will be gone someday.
I was
There you
thinking
go.
that same thing.
Because what happens when they're gone, and then what if you didn't build into your marriage?
Yeah.
What do you have then? So, and the kids are only there. Like, we'll be empty. It's kind of hard to believe. Someday we will.
And then come the grandchildren.
Yeah. And then the grandchildren.
They can go home.
Sometimes.
I don't know. I might keep them.
Yeah. But that is so true that you have that. And so, hey, we're going to have you guys here with us for the rest of the hour. We go a couple of more things. We have Dan and Jeanine here with us. And we're going to do something before we go real quick. We're going to do the McCain Express. So Tracy and Brenda's going to go to the McCain Express and explain to them what the McCain Express is as she's looking through her papers for what we're going to do before we go on our commercial break.
Okay, the McCain Express is just me asking you some simple questions. You don't supposed to think about it long. You just answer them off the cup like that. Going to go back and forth with it. You ready for me to do it, babe?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, first question is cooking or baking?
Baking.
That's for you.
You got to answer too.
Cooking.
Okay. Are you an introvert or extrovert?
Extrovert.
East Coast or West Coast?
West.
West Coast.
Seafood or Chinese?
Seafood.
This healthy, Millicent. It's healthy. Date night, dinner and a movie or dinner and jazz?
Dinner and a movie.
Okay, wine tasting or champagne sipping?
Kool-Aid.
There you go. That's my answer.
Plays or movies?
Movies.
You're most excited about winning $1 million or $1 million home?
$1 million.
Would you rather ride cross country in a car or see the countryside via a train ride?
Car.
Car, yeah.
If you had to choose to eat one meat for the rest of your life, which one would
Be careful when you answer that, Millicent, right?
Which one would it be?
No, go ahead.
Steak or chicken?
Chicken.
Wow, that's a rough one. What about crab meat?
Yeah, well, I was going to say crab legs.
Okay, drama or comedy?
Comedy.
Drama.
Okay, giving back to the community or taking back the streets?
Giving back to the community.
Wait, giving back? Yo, giving back community.
Okay, then let's see. World famous celebrity, musician, or actor? Or actress?
Musician. Big fan of music.
Yeah, music.
Okay, superhero. Who you want to be, girl? You just tell me who you want to be.
Hulk smash.
That was not on my list. Okay, I was supposed to be cute Catwoman, but go ahead. Who you want to
I
be?
like Iron Man.
Oh, Iron Man. Okay. Well, old school, Star Wars or Star Trek for you?
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
And for you, what love got to do with it or Waiting to Excel? Have you seen either movies?
No, I'm terrible.
I'm sorry. So Star Trek.
So that was our McCain Express that we go into there. And so we are going to go into our commercial break. They're going to be with us a little bit longer on the show to talk about it. This is Reverend Rick McCain along with my baby, my girl, my boo. We'll be right back after these commercial breaks.